Hey, and welcome to the podcast. This is Fan the Flames. I'm Dan.
Hey, what's up? I'm Nate.
And we're here to fan some Flames.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, 11 games in. That was the insert for the
audio drop.
Yeah, baby!
Yeah. Yes, so we got 4 games behind us. So
Yeah, it
4
was
games in a week.
A busy week since our last podcast.
2 at home, 2 on the road.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and back-to-back the last 2 nights, so it's been a lot of watching lately.
Yeah, it consumes a lot of time.
Yeah. Do you have enough time for watching your dog with all the hockey?
Yeah, for those who don't know, I have a young puppy here, and take him for a walk, give him some exercise, and
How long have you had him?
He's 3 months old.
3 months. Okay.
Yeah, so still new to this world, and my neighborhood's pretty monochromatic.
What do you mean by monochromatic? Dan?
Everyone's of similar skin tone. But on the last walk, there was someone of the darker complexion, and usually my dog likes everyone and goes up for everyone to say hi. And so this lady gets so excited to send a puppy. Who doesn't
Everyone
love
loves a
puppies?
puppy, yeah. The one time I watched it, there was a lady came up in like 10 seconds. Oh, a puppy.
So she was going for the pet, and he was running in, and when he gets a good look at her, he turns away, acts upset. I was humiliated.
So what are you thinking your dog is?
I may have a racist dog. But the hope is, teach him how not to be prejudiced, and they grow out of it. But
Exactly.
it's an interesting concept. And see, if the dog is racist, would it be racist towards other dogs? There's certain dog breeds it doesn't like. Why does it care about human racism?
It's a good question. And, it could be like sometimes people grow up in a certain neighborhood and just aren't exposed to other cultures. So as the dog owner, it's your job to expose it to different experiences, different people.
I need to bring him around the world and, get him to meet everybody. And he'd be willing to say hi to everybody. It just leads to lighten up, learn some tolerance in this world.
Yes, exactly. There's no room in this world for racist dogs.
All right, with that, let's move into some Flames. Start with Saturday, Penguins shellacking.
Yeah, not a good experience for anyone involved, unless you're a Pittsburgh fan.
Yeah, Pittsburgh good, 9 goals, 2 for Hornquist, 2 for Kessel, 1 for Crosby. List goes on.
Yeah, there was a comment on the message boards that said, "Show me on the doll where the Penguins touched you."
And that's what it felt like. You know who got the lone goal for Calgary?
No, I don't.
James Neal.
Oh, good.
Do you remember that goal? I think it fluttered in.
At some point I blacked out. When I saw Kessel yawning on the bench, I thought, why am I watching this?
That's true. All right, let's move on. Another home game, Washington.
That defending Stanley Cup champions.
Yeah. They look decent. I deep down I expect them to come out even harder because of the big loss in Pittsburgh. And again, they were outshot. They played good though, and they battled back for a point.
Yeah, and it was a game where we got progressively better. As you said, we battled back, and a lot of the talk on the message boards was positive, but the sentiment was, as usual, we suck in shootouts.
And power play, but we'll get to
that. The power play wasn't good either, but as a Flames fan, I don't have a lot of confidence when we get to the shootout. And it's not just this generation of players. It seems the Calgary Flames have never been great at shootouts.
I really see the link between success in the shootouts and success in the power play. It all comes down to that shot.
Yeah, and having high-skilled players.
Yeah. Either you scramble in front and try to bash it in. That's how you recover a power play. But
Yeah.
you gotta get those killer shots.
Yeah, the high-skill plays.
Yeah, and we have high-skilled players.
Yeah, we have some. But...
with no high-skill shot.
Yeah, that's true. We have no Ovechkin or Stamkos type shooter.
All right. Another part of that game, Smith, he played good, but a constant theme is his dodginess or scrambliness.
Yeah, the way he he doesn't give you confidence the way he moves in the net.
And you've been driving that down my throat, and I'm starting to believe it more and more. I was all gung-ho, but I still like the way he handles puck.
We have a difference of opinion on that.
And he's
but
teaching young Riddick how to handle the puck, which he knows. With that said, we can move on to the away games. Toronto, that was Smith again.
Yeah, and actually I thought he looked more confident and he had like a quieter game.
He had a decent game, but he was out-goalied by Anderson, losing effort from Anderson.
Yeah, that was actually the first signs of encouragement as a Flames fan. The Flames, they were the dominant team. They deserved the win.
Yeah.
And as a person who doesn't like the Toronto Maple Leafs, I did enjoy the fake goal at the end of the game.
Yes, and with that got Bill Peters wired up. But we'll get to that later. It was the Leafs for game without Matthews.
Yeah. So
that was the big talk. Ooh, poor Leafs without Matthews. Marner's a great player. Watching him play is pretty fun. Kadri scored. So I think Toronto will be alright. There's also more of a Nylander controversy with Matthews going down. The ball changes courts. But we can get to that later as well.
Has the leverage shifted?
No.
That's the question.
And that leads us to our game last night. The huge comeback against Buffalo.
Yeah, I think that deserves a...
Yeah, baby!
Yeah, Buffalo's been playing good. They won the last 4 or something.
Yeah, and they've got some skilled players.
Yeah, no kidding, man. Berglund, just the star from St. Louis, is on the 4th line struggling in Buffalo. That's weird. Spoka, another strong St. Louis player, didn't look great playing for Buffalo. Jack Eichel, solid.
Yeah. And comments on the message board were Rittich stoning people harder than some BC Bud.
Yeah. Which he did, and he did it with poise.
Yeah, he I think he's 3-1 now is his record, and the one loss he took unbelievable. Yeah. So it's because that was the Montreal game where he had.
That's right. They don't count where he took in from Smith from the Pittsburgh shellacking. That still goes to Smith.
It's who was in net for the goal that actually won the game. So that would be the second goal.
Yeah. Because
Calgary only scored 1.
Yeah.
But that is something when you're a goalie and you come in, sometimes you're like, I don't want to let in another goal because I'll take the loss. So even in a game like that, you want to keep the goals down.
One noble mention was Kachuk's goal to take in. I'm glad Kachuk was the one to get that goal. He's the right player to do it, the player that can do it.
And another great thing to see was, the Flames were persistent. They dominated from the start to the end. They had a disallowed goal. It didn't really shake how they were playing. They just kept pushing. And then to finally capitalize on 3-on-3 was a nice finish.
Yeah. And they fought off 5-on-3. Buffalo had a 5-on-3 for a minute.
Yeah, and they had a 4-on-3 in overtime.
Yeah, that's right. Again, the refs were all over the place, but that leads us in. Let's hear what Bill Peters thinks of the reffing to date. And this is after the Leafs game?
Yeah, this is after the Leafs game.
Well, they were getting hot there, weren't they? They had a lot of momentum going, the refs. It'll be an interesting explanation tomorrow to our general manager from the league. I'm not sure about the 5-on-3 call. I'm not sure about the whistle. And then if they would have called the icing that didn't cross the red line, that would have made them a trifecta.
Yeah.
So it's not super harsh criticism, but it is unusual after a win to, publicly criticize the referees.
It's true. He's the only one popped up by media looking or doing so from a coach's standpoint. And, my gut reaction is just to agree with him most part. He's calling out these obviously bad calls. And we saw some more in Buffalo.
Yeah.
The whistle from the puck. Oh, no. It was a quick whistle after the save.
Yeah.
Sliding in. Goudreau was pissed.
Yeah, you could hear him swearing on TV. But the question for me is not so much is he right, because it's obvious the refs miss calls. My question is, as a coach playing the long game in the NHL, should you be publicly criticizing the refs, kind of embarrassing the refs?
The traditional route, our coach approach after questions like that would be like, hey, we didn't get the calls. Life goes on.
Yeah, exactly. And then obviously teams complain to the league, but they do it privately.
Yeah.
And then that way kind of the league saves face. But do you think these comments will hurt us in the future with refs maybe showing a little bit of bias against us?
It's very well possible. We saw the bias with the Weidman. He had pretty much no career after fucking with the refs.
Well, it is a little different.
Yeah, it's a little different.
Post-game criticism versus cross-checking the ref to the ice.
But it could hurt us, but pro is that it could incite some change in poor performance from reffing. So I have the refs around the league being like, hey, we're being called out now, so see what we can do. But then they'll be pointing at the commissioner. I mean, what do all these mean? All these penalty rules. What should we let slide and what shouldn't we?
Yeah, that's one side of it, is the consistency of calls. The other side, though, is just the blown calls. Like when Toronto scored the fake goal and all the fans were cheering, but Calgary was going down the ice with an empty net.
It's because all the Toronto players were stupid. They thought it was in. They would have stopped it was an advantage. Definitely.
Yeah, the proper call would have been just play keeps going.
Yeah.
But it was a blown call, but I could see why you'd make the call. I thought it was in too. I didn't,
Yeah, but from a ref vantage point, you shouldn't miss that. I thought it was in, right in live action. In the first replay, I'm like, oh, it's obviously not, dude. If I had been on the ice, I would have saw it.
I don't know.
I know, because a lot of the players were celebrating.
Yeah, and also
Brody was looking bummed out, and he sees it. Just slowly brings it around.
Yeah, that's what I mean. A lot of people on the ice thought it was a goal, so.
Yeah, excuse me, he could have fooled everyone if it was not a blown call.
That's true. And another thing that's sort of something interesting during the last few games is the way the coach has been using his healthy scratches.
Yeah, shuffling is still going on, so after these 10, 12 games, we can almost say what we would like the lineup to be.
Yeah, and maybe we can start with the last two games. He's had the same lineup, and the healthy scratches have been Stone on defense and Austin Czarnik on offense.
Yeah.
And those are probably the ones that are debatable. And maybe we should start with Stone and the defense. Do you think that's the right move?
Defense core, keeping the two rookies on and the same line. Even though Anderson gets pushed with Giordano every now and then. Power play. That was pretty awesome. So good on the rookie for going. I would try Brody, bench Brody, and see what kind of comeback he gets.
Yeah, if you need to motivate Brody, that could be a good move. But Brody's been good the last two games.
It's true, he has been good, but in the same